Knowledge is power to those who may seek, wisdom and glory and a path to the peak. In the knowledge of history you can learn and see who you are and who you could be. Though I have passed, my stories won't die, for you to gain wisdom, so who am I? I was born in the city of Bukhara, which is now present-day Uzbekistan, in the year 810. My family was known for their scholarship and piety, and my father was a famous Hadith scholar who learned from other famous scholars including Imam Malik ibn Anas. My father passed away when I was only an infant, and so my mother took on the entire responsibility of bringing me up. From a young age, I showed an interest in the Islamic sciences, and my mother recognized my potential and encouraged me to pursue my studies. I began my formal education at the age of 10, and I quickly became known for my intelligence and memory. I would attend lectures by prominent scholars and memorize everything they said without taking any notes. My dedication to the pursuit of knowledge earned me the respect of my teachers and fellow students. As a student, I used to attend the lectures of those famous scholars along with my peers. They would all write down the hadiths that was narrated by the scholars, while I sat down with nothing to write. Once, my peers accused me of wasting my time, so I asked them to take out their notes and follow along with me as I recited all what they have written down over years from pure memory. I narrated back to them more than 15,000 hadiths. This was one of Allah's major bounties on me that allowed me to become one of the greatest protectors of hadith. At the age of 16, I began my travels in search of hadith knowledge. I traveled to various cities in the Islamic world, including Baghdad, Mecca, Medina, and Egypt, and I studied under the greatest scholars of hadith of my time. I would spend years in each city memorizing hadith collections and studying their chains of transmission until I had become an expert in the field. My travels and studies took over 16 years, and during this time I memorized over 600,000 hadiths, an astonishing feat that earned me the title of Al-Hafiz, or the Memorizer. I also became known for my strict adherence to the principles of hadith verification, ensuring that only authentic hadiths were included in my collections. It was during my travels that I realized the importance of preserving hadiths, and I dedicated my life to this cause. I had written down hadiths from over 1,000 teachers, and all of them were experts in this discipline. Among my teachers was the famous Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. I spent several years compiling and verifying hadiths for my most famous work, Al-Jami' al-Sahih. This work has become the most respected and widely used hadith collection in the world, second only to the Quran in terms of its importance. My book, Al-Jami' al-Sahih, is a collection of over 7,000 hadiths, organized into chapters based on their topics. Each hadith in the collection has been meticulously verified, and only those with authentic chains of transmission have been included. The collection also includes detailed explanations of the various hadith narrators, ensuring the authenticity and reliability of the collection. It took me a total of 16 years to finish compiling this book, and although I had memorized a large number of hadiths, I only chose 7,275 hadiths for this book, and there is no doubt that the authenticity of these hadiths are verified. Here is a story about my inspiration to write my book. One night, I saw the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in my dream. I was standing in front of the Prophet, having a fan in my hand and driving away the flies from him. I then asked the meaning of the dream from the interpreters of dreams. They interpreted the dream that I will destroy and erode the lies that are included in a number of hadiths of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so, I was inspired to compile a book that collected only the most authentic of hadith. I compiled the book Al-Jami' al-Sahih in Al-Masjid al-Haram in Mecca, and I did not include a hadith except after praying the 2 rak'ah of the guidance prayer or al-istikhara, asking Allah for help, and after believing that the hadith is truly authentic. I had several qualities that made me the person I am and the right person to preserve the hadith. I had an amazing memory, as mentioned earlier. I was very generous as I gave away almost all of the inheritance of my father in the path of Allah, to the point where I would only have a couple of almonds to eat for the entire day. I was simple and humble as I looked after my own needs despite being an honorable person. I feared Allah in everything I did, as I was blessed with the highest rank of piety and righteousness. I kept myself away from backbiting and suspicion, and I was always respected by the people. I was very polite, tolerant, and gentle, and never got angry when mistreated by others. I always prayed forgiveness for those who attributed evil to me. Even if I needed to correct any person, I would never embarrass them in public. My commitment to preserving hadiths did not go unnoticed, and I became known as one of the most respected scholars of my time. Even the Abbasid Caliph at the time sought my advice and consulted me on matters of religious law. However, I remained humble and dedicated to my work, and I continued to travel and teach until the end of my life. I had over 90,000 students who heard hadith directly from me. Among these students were Imam Muslim, Imam al-Tirmidhi, Imam al-Nisa'i, and Imam al-Razi, and many more. I also published many books besides Al-Jami' al-Sahih in different disciplines other than hadith, such as Quranic interpretations or tafsir, jurisprudence or fiqh, history, and more. After many years of traveling and teaching hadith, I finally returned to my hometown Bukhara. The people of the city were overjoyed to see me again and welcomed me warmly. I felt at home and decided to establish a school or madrasah in the city where I could impart my knowledge. As an honest and trustworthy person, I always kept my distance from the rulers of that time, fearing that I may say things just to please them. However, the governor of Bukhara summoned me to his house one day and requested me to teach his son separately from other children. I replied, I cannot stop any person from hearing hadiths. Upon hearing my reply, the governor became angry and ordered me to leave Bukhara. I was deeply hurt by this expulsion from my hometown, but I accepted Allah's will and moved to Khartang village near Samarkand in modern-day Uzbekistan. I spent the rest of my days in Khartang, Samarkand, aching from the pain of my expulsion from my homeland, while continuing to teach hadith. Then in the year 870, and at the age of 62, I passed away and I was buried in Khartang, where my legacy continues to inspire generations of Muslims to this day.